Hi guys and ghouls, so today I have a shopping related video for you. So as you guys know, there's recently been a lot in the, I was about to say the press, in the air about the affordability of gothic clothing. Now I did do the goth snob tag, which I will leave up in the corner for you, but basically to sum it up, some people think that gothic brand clothing is too expensive. Now, as someone who has kind of gone through all the stages, so I went through like a thrifting stage, I went through kind of buying stuff new from the high street and trying to goth it up a little bit, definitely like a DIY stage. I have now kind of come into the stage of my life where I can afford to buy gothic brands. I'm not going to go into the whole debate whether gothic brands are in fact gothic, but for the sake of this video, we are going to assume that they are, because unfortunately there is nothing anyone could ever say to stop me loving Killstar. So basically, there are loads and loads of different gothic brands, but Killstar, I believe, are the first gothic brand to offer a service for people to pay for the items over the course of 6 weeks. Now this is something which I originally saw LayBuy make a post about, and after she made that post I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna check that out. So I did check it out and I made a purchase through this kind of 6-week scheme for buying Killstar items. Now usually I will only go and buy Killstar clothing if I have like a spare 50 quid. If I'm like, I kind of want to treat myself, I've got a bit of spare money, I've got enough, I've got a coupon code, and then I'll buy a piece of clothing that I am after. However, they have come up with this new system which allows you to pay for it over 6 weeks. So if you are buying something a little bit more pricey and you don't have the money at the time, it does make it slightly more affordable. So, as I said, usually I do just straight out buy my Killstar stuff. I was kind of saving for a few items. There was a few things I had kind of in the back of my mind that I was after, but before this service I kind of was just planning to wait a few more weeks before I could buy it. But they brought out this service, so I figured I might as well try it out and make a video, because I know lots of you had some questions whether or not they kind of have any hidden charges, how it works when you get your items. So I have made 2 purchases through Layby. One of them had 2 Killstar items and the other one had 1 Killstar item. I'm just going to kind of walk you through the process and talk about all the kind of little hurdles I met and all the kind of benefits and positives of this service, because so far I am loving it. So when you go through any item in Killstar, let's look at this dress that I'm wearing, for example. To the side of it, it does say Layby and it will give you a number. So let's start with this dress which I am wearing. This is the Dead Silent shirt dress from Killstar and it retails at $49.99. So usually I would just save up for this one item. Obviously then you have, I think it's $4.99 shipping on top of that. So I would be saving about £55 in order to receive this dress. However, underneath each of their listings you can now see that it says, or 6-week interest-free payments from $8.33 with Layby. So the price that it gives you, so the from $8.33, is how much you will be paying for each one of your 6 installments. So obviously this differs per item. If it is a cheaper item, you'll be paying less. Quite a few of them come to around £6.50. I'd say that's the kind of average you'd pay for a average price Killstar dress. Obviously, if you were buying something that was £6 over 6 weeks, it would be £1 a week. So basically it's taking the overall price, so the overall price of this, £50, and then it splits it into 6 chunks. So basically, as a starter, to kind of find out how much you would be paying a month per singular item, you can just check out that little kind of description bit under the price and it will kind of inform you sort of what sort of price range you will be paying. So this is why I did 2 different purchases through Layby, because I wanted to see what happened when I bought more than one item. So I did actually buy this dress, which was £50, and I did also buy this skirt, which I believe was around £30. Now this skirt, as you can see, has not been worn because it is ridiculously small. If you guys are buying this skirt, it has like little straps that come around either side. I think it's called like the Blair Witch skirt or something. I bought a size large. I'm a size large in everything for Killstar, but this was definitely not going to go up. So I'm probably going to be exchanging this for 2 sizes bigger. So I'll be probably getting an XXL in this, which seems quite extreme for the fact I usually wear a large, but there is absolutely like no give in this at all. So yes, I did order 2 items. Granted, one of them I am going to be sending back, but I did just kind of want to see what happened when I bought the 2. Now, the answer was very, very simple. It basically took the £8.33, which I'd be paying weekly for this dress, with the around £5 a week that I'd be paying for the skirt, and it merged them together. That was literally as simple as it was. It will basically add all of your items up. You can order 1 item, you could order 25 items for all that they care. Just, it will take your whole total and basically divide it by 6. So it doesn't kind of add interest, or it doesn't like add any additional payments the more items you get. It doesn't matter how many items you buy, it will always just be divided by 6. So that was kind of the main reason why I wanted to order 2, because I wanted to see if there was any catch, since obviously it does give you that kind of standard price just for that singular item. But I was really pleased to see that it didn't add like any interest or anything along those lines once I added more items to my basket. So the checkout process was literally exactly the same as usual. I added all the items to my basket. Now I do have like a VIP Killstar account, which is free to make, and it just means that it remembers your details, and also you can collect points. So I kind of get £5, £10 off vouchers with the more things I buy, if that makes sense. So because I have that, I'm kind of automatically logged in, so it does remember like my name and my address and things. So it then came to the payment section. So this is a section normally where you'd pick if you're paying with like a credit or a debit card, or if you're paying through PayPal. Now usually I go through PayPal, just because I always feel like if you're going through PayPal you do have like a little bit of added security rather than if you're just paying like directly through a debit card. So I usually go through PayPal. It also has my address on PayPal as well, so it just kind of like double checks that it's going to be going to the right place. However, if you scroll down past PayPal, it did have a section that said pay by LayBuy. So this is what you want to do if you're looking to pay your total over the space of 6 weeks. Now LayBuy is something that you do have to sign up for. You can sign up for it during the checkout process, but I definitely recommend kind of signing up prior, just because it is a little bit of a faff, and when you're in that checkout process you don't want to like fill your whole basket up, then get directed to a different page, fill all that out, and then like inevitably you may lose your basket. So I definitely would kind of say fill it up first, just for like sake of ease and smoothness in the checkout. So basically I went to the LayBuy website. There are links on the Killstar website, but I will leave a kind of direct link down below for how to sign up. Signing up for LayBuy is completely free. It is just a case of entering in your details. So they did want my name, my age, and my address, and from this they did do a credit check. Now I'm not sure how in depth the credit check is. I have never had like anything on loan, as in like I bought my car straight out and I don't have a mortgage, and I kind of bought my phone straight out, so I don't have anything which I have to kind of pay like monthly, other than like Spooky Box Club and also like my phone contract, but I'm not sure if that really counts. So technically my credit score should be horrendous, like never had to pay money back. So as I said, I'm not sure how in depth it is, but it literally took all of 30 seconds to approve me. I guess if you have before missed payments or had some issues with financing, maybe it would pick up on that, but I can't really give you too much information on what the whole credit score thing is like, because for me it just, I didn't even realize it was doing it. It just was like done, like you've been approved. So definitely again it is good to sign up prior, just because if for any reason it isn't going to accept you for your credit check, it kind of saves the disappointment of like filling up a basket of stuff from Killstar and then ultimately not being able to buy it. It does do the credit check, which was for me really quick. Again, I don't know if that's because there wasn't really much for them to go through when it comes to me, or if it's just a quick search. I just don't know. It just happened quickly. And then after that I obviously added a few more personal details in. It did ask for my card details at that point. I was super iffy to begin with because I hate giving my card details to websites. I know that usually it is fine, but especially like places that remember all your card details, I I don't know, I'm a little bit iffy with it. I did kind of think about the fact that all my card details are on my PayPal, and this was working in a very similar way. Unfortunately, you can't just go through PayPal when you're paying with LayBuy. They have to have your card details. But then I did also think that Killstar wouldn't put like a scam way of paying on their website, would they? Like ultimately they couldn't. So yeah, I added in my card details. Now you can add in multiple cards if you would like to, and you can remove cards. I did add my card and then I like freaked out and removed it, and then I added it again. So you can add and remove cards if you would like to. I do just have like the one debit card that I pay for stuff on, so again I can't really comment on like how easy it is to switch between the different cards, but they do have like different options for adding more cards if you did have multiple cards that you wanted to buy these products on. So basically I added my card and then I was ready to go. Now on my account it did give me a current credit limit, which was £240. Now again, I don't know if this alters with your credit check. I don't know if this alters with the amount of things you buy from them and like successfully pay off, but to begin with I was given basically £240 which I could work with. So that means that I could buy technically £240 worth of Killstar stuff, and then I'd reach my limit, so I couldn't buy anything else with LayBuy. At the moment it's £240 worth, and the most that I would ever pay back a week would be £40, which ultimately, you know, that's going to very easily add up to 160 a month that you're paying back. So you do have to kind of think about it reasonably, in the fact that this is a great option to kind of break down prices. Although it does kind of split it up for you, you do have to be reasonable in the fact that you will also have to pay it all back eventually. Now something I did originally think when I signed up, and that I had originally written down to talk about in this video, is the fact that you need to make sure that you are committed to paying that every single week. So for me, for example, one week I may have £100 spending money, and then roll on the next week and I've got a tenner. It for me is very like just depends kind of what I've been up to and what kind of work I've got going on. So some weeks I could very easily pay £40, and some weeks I would very much struggle. So I was originally put off by the fact that originally I thought it was going to be a very big commitment, because although I think this dress and the skirt came to around £13 I was paying a week, I was like, do I really want to be paying £13 every week for the next 6 weeks just so I can own this dress and that skirt? But that's when I went and read the terms and conditions, because I am a freak and I actually read them. So I went down through, I just wanted to make sure there was no hidden like, we're gonna sell your card details kind of thing. And I was reading through, and it basically said you can choose when you pay it off. So if you wanted to, which is actually what I did with the dress that's currently in the post, my second purchase through LayBuy, I knew that I was going to be paid in a couple of days time, but there was a kind of flash sale on a few days prior to when I was being paid. So I decided to use LayBuy just to kind of bridge the gap between when the sale was on and when I was getting paid. So I bought a dress, I think it came to around £6 a week that it wanted me to pay. So I paid the original £6, and then as far as LayBuy was concerned, for the next 5 Sundays I would also be paying £6. They do give you the option to pay your kind of weekly lump sum earlier. If for example you're just about to make your second payment, but actually in your bank account you've got enough to make 2 payments, you could choose to make this week's payment and next week's payment at the same time, which then means obviously next week it kind of like let you off and you've kind of got a week free of paying it off. So I thought that was really handy, because as I said, some weeks I do have more money and some weeks I have no money. I think it does kind of catch you out with the whole week thing, because obviously for 4 of those weeks the majority of people who are paid monthly would still be on the same paycheck, which is kind of a bit annoying. So I guess what you could do is pay the first 4 weeks with one paycheck and then pay the last 2 weeks with your next paycheck. But it is relatively flexible, I have to say that. And also ultimately it does give you the option, which I did do with the dress that I have very recently bought with LayBuy, is I paid like the original £6 with LayBuy when the dress was in the sale, and then a few days later when I got paid, I just pressed the button pay all remaining, and it allowed me just to pay the whole thing off, and then I didn't need to worry about it. So it kind of does give you a lot of flexibility in the fact that you can either pay weekly, you could pay like a couple of weeks at one time, you could pay half of it and then just pay like the rest of it in 3 weeks time, you could pay it all off like in a couple of days after using LayBuy. I think it is super handy, especially as I said, if there is a really good sale going on in Killstar and right at that very second in time you can't afford it, but you know in the near future you could. It just, as I said, bridges that gap. Now, I know this does sound slightly too good to be true because they have no interest on that at all, so you're not having to like pay any extra money to use this service, and also as soon as you make the order your item is shipped. So I have like this dress here and that skirt here, and I haven't even paid them off yet. I'm actually 3 weeks in, so I still got another 3 weeks of payments to go, but they are here. They arrived as if I had ordered them regularly. So with every other kind of Killstar purchase I've made, when I've bought a dress and I've paid for it in full, they have shipped it after a couple of days and it has arrived, and this was absolutely no different. So you do get the items before you have actually officially fully paid for them. To be honest, I was not expecting to get these items until I had finished all my payments, so it was quite a nice surprise to get kind of the little text message from Killstar which said your items have been shipped. I was like, yay, thank you very much. I would think it would be completely reasonable for them to kind of send it after the 6 week period, but I guess then it kind of doesn't make sense because you could just save for 6 weeks and then buy it. So again, another really nice positive to it is you can get something like here and now and kind of pay for it a little bit later, as I guess you would with a car or a sofa, or a phone, I guess. So you may be thinking, how on earth is this company like going? Like, how are they making money by doing this? And basically they do have a very strict like overdue payment scheme. So if you miss a payment, so although it does kind of take it out automatically every week, if say on the 3rd week they go to take the payment out of your card and you don't have enough money in your bank account, then they do start adding interest, they start charging you, and that's when the price of these items starts rocketing. So definitely I'd say do not use this service if you cannot guarantee that every single week you're going to be able to pay for it, because although you can kind of skip a week by paying it a week early, there's no way of pushing it back, if that makes sense. So you will have to pay that amount every single week. There is no way of getting out of that unless you pay it all off kind of in bigger chunks and quicker. Now luckily I haven't missed any payments, so I can't really kind of comment on what the process is if I was to miss a payment, or if for example my account was like overdrawn. I think that's what it's called. So I can't really comment on what would happen with that, but after reading the terms and conditions you can tell very easily that that's where they make their money. They are making their money through people not paying on time, basically. You're not given any kind of second chances. They are very good in the fact that they send me text messages, they send me kind of updates, they send me emails. I get loads and loads of messages from Layby, and they keep kind of warning me. They say like, oh, in 5 days time we're going to take out a payment, in 2 days time there's going to be a payment coming out, and it's very clear on the website to see when the next payment is coming out. Now you can choose a day that will suit you slightly better. For example, I get paid every single Sunday, so what I have done is I have set it up so that every Sunday a payment comes out for Layby, because I can guarantee that every single Sunday I am gonna have money in my account. Can I guarantee that every single Monday I'm gonna have money in my account? No, but I can guarantee that every single Sunday I'll have money in my account. Now I did buy these things on like a Friday, I believe, so it took the original payment, so whatever your total is divided by 6, that's the amount they're going to take on the day you buy the items. So it's almost like a deposit kind of. So I bought these 2 items and I think on the day I paid around £13. And then LayBuy do allow you to choose the next day that you want to pay. So if I bought this on a Friday, it would default say like, oh, your next payment is going to be due next Friday, and so on and so on and so on. It would just be on Fridays. But you can change it to kind of happen a little bit quicker. So for example, I bought this on the Friday and I said I want to make my payments every Sunday because I knew that Sunday was my guaranteed day for money. And that meant, so I paid on the Friday, and then 2 days later on the Sunday, it made another payment. But then like a whole week later, when it come around to Sunday again, I made another payment, and then next Sunday, I'll make another payment. So you can choose sort of a day that works best for you. As I said, if you are getting paid like monthly, I'm not sure how much that would help, because I'm guessing you'd kind of have like that lump kind of spending money sum, and it doesn't kind of matter what day it is in the week, it's still going to be there. As I said, like if you are getting paid weekly, it may be a nice option to kind of change it and set it so that the money comes out on the day you get paid, so you can guarantee that you're not going to miss a payment, and you can guarantee you're not going to be charged any more for your money. So that is basically LayBuy. I have to say my experiences with them has been super positive. They've kept me updated through the whole process. Obviously as you can see, I received my items nice and quickly, and usually there's actually nothing different in the whole like buying process of the Killstar items. It's literally just the kind of paying process which is different. I love the fact you can pay it back early. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility, even if you've done kind of what I've done and made like 3 payments. So far I've paid off £38.25, and then I can kind of pay off whatever's left remaining all in one chunk. So for example, if I did have £40 in my account kind of in a couple of days, I could just literally pay all remaining and then I would be completely cleared. On the website, it literally keeps track of everything. You've got your like kind of upcoming payments, you've got your completed payments. It makes it very, very foolproof and very, very easy to do. And as I said, the only way that they are going to be making money is if you miss those payments. So definitely I'd say this is not an option for someone who is a little bit bad with money, or maybe forgets or doesn't read their emails, because it will end up costing you a lot more, and I'd probably just suggest saving up rather than using it if you don't feel like you could have that organisation. So as a side note, as I said, I am going to be returning this skirt. I did contact Killstar directly just to say like, yo, this skirt doesn't fit me. I wasn't actually going to re-get this skirt just because it's a lot shorter than I expected. I was going to swap it for a dress, and I had a voucher and stuff. And I've emailed Killstar 3 times now over the last 2 weeks about returning it, and I've had no reply at all. I did say in my email that I bought it through LayBuy, so I don't know if they see LayBuy and they're like, yo, we're not replying. But for some reason their customer service has been horrendous when it comes to replying to emails. I'm going to give them till tomorrow to reply, and if they don't reply, I'm just going to have to send this back off because I've nearly reached like my maximum amount of time that I have to like return this. I'm just gonna have to send this off and ask for a bigger size, and just like fingers crossed that it fits. I was really hoping to exchange it for a different dress, but like by the look of it, it's just not gonna happen. And unfortunately the dress is slightly more expensive than that, so I can't just like do a straight exchange. So yeah, I'm not sure how it would work, but I would assume if I was to return this and ask for it back in monetary value, they would take that lump sum refund off of what I have remaining to pay. So for example, let's just say I have £30 left to pay and the dress was £20, they just take it off and I'd only owe them £10. So I assume that's how it would work, but I'm not sure. Killstar have not replied to my messages, and there doesn't really seem to be much on LayBuy's website about returns, which is very odd. But I assume it is kind of done through Killstar. I will kind of update you in the fact, like definitely I'll talk about a bit more if I kind of get an exchange for this skirt for a bigger size, or if they do actually eventually reply and send me like the dress that I'm after. But when I do a video on either that skirt or the dress that I'm after, I will explain more about the refund process and kind of what happened basically. But by the looks of it, it looks like LayBuy are going to have nothing to do with it, and I'm just going to have to exchange that one for a bigger size, which isn't the end of the world. I just wish it was a bit bigger, like it's so tiny. But yeah, that's Layby basically. If you do have any questions, please do let me know. I hope that I explained this okay, but it's kind of one of those things where like in my head it makes sense, but hopefully it makes sense to you. But as I said, any questions at all, do ask me. Their frequently asked questions bit of their website is actually horrendous. So yeah, if you do have any questions about the whole process of buying through Killstar, do let me know. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. If it's sunny where you are, I hope you're enjoying the shade, and I'll see you next time. Bye!